Hey everybody, you got the RV Wingman here. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Remember when right was right and wrong was wrong, when the rules were clear and everyone knew their boundaries? Sadly, over the past decade or two or three, it feels like those lines have blurred, right? They blurred so much that it's hard to tell where they even are. I mean, think about it. We used to live in a world where personal accountability mattered, but now, I don't know. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I would love to hear your take. So let me tell you a story. When I had my hunting ranch in Texas, there were rules, and these rules were steadfast, solid rules. One of them was there was absolutely no hunting if you had taken a sip of alcohol. None. So we had an open bar policy, and I said, you can drink as much as you want to, but as soon as you take a sip of alcohol, just one, you will not hunt until tomorrow. And I meant it. It was the truth. Another rule that I had was that you will never travel in a vehicle with a round in the chamber, which means in the barrel of your gun. I don't care if it's on safety, whatever. No loaded weapons in the vehicle. None. And there was no wiggle room. Now, not everybody was happy about that, but the rules were on the website. They were on the hunting agreement that I would mail to them before they would ever show up at the ranch. And then we would talk about it when they got to the ranch and we had like our welcome introductory meeting. And I would mention it to them about no alcohol until you were through hunting for the day, no loaded weapons in the vehicle, period. Some people weren't happy. Those rules were not meant to hurt anybody. Did everybody enjoy them? Everybody appreciate them? No. Was I being a jerk? I think it kind of depended upon who you ask. In today's world, it seems that the concept of rules has taken a back seat, kind of morphed into something more like suggestions or requests. What used to be hard and fast guidelines, whether in our homes or communities or even at a societal level, now feels like a list of things that people can choose to follow or not. The rules were meant to be broken, right? Not really. Not even. But think about it. Rules were once clear lines in the sand. They offered structure and stability, and more importantly, they offered accountability. They weren't up for debate, but these days it feels like those lines have been blurred. Or in some cases, maybe they've been completely erased. Instead of living in a world of right and wrong, it feels like we are navigating this landscape of optional and maybe. Take the 10 Commandments, for example. They were once pillars, right, of morality, of shaping generation after generation and how we would navigate our world. But today, it's as if they have been downgraded to the 10 suggestions, right? Don't lie, don't steal, don't covet. These were absolutes, but now they seem to have an unspoken asterisk next to them that says, well, unless you need to, unless it's inconvenient for you. It's as though society has adopted this pick and choose morality where people decide when the rules apply to them and when they don't. As if it's up to them and not to the rules of what is acceptable. Even in the campgrounds where people blast music or leave trash all over, despite clear signs asking for quiet or cleanliness. It's like rules no longer mean what they used to. Now they're just requests, right? To be honored only if they don't interfere with somebody's personal plans. So what's the big deal, you may ask? Well, this erosion is not limited to social behavior. I think we see it everywhere. Look at how laws are enforced, or more often not enforced. Laws that were designed to protect businesses and maintain order have become toothless. Many places won't even prosecute for shoplifting below this, certain dollar amount, and that just gives a green light to the thieves, doesn't it? When you remove consequences, when we remove negative consequences, when we take away accountability, we aren't just making rules less effective, we are making them irrelevant. We are. And here's the thing, people aren't ignoring rules because they don't know better. Often I think that they're doing it because they know they can get away with it. They know it. It's as if there's a mindset where breaking the rules is almost encouraged, where people are like seeking a thrill maybe by flaunting the fact that they got away with something. Take shoplifting as an example. When shoplifting videos are going viral online, and they are, and people are proudly showing off the stuff they stole, we don't need to ask ourselves, when did breaking the rules become a badge of honor? I mean, really? It's not just shoplifting either. Everywhere you turn, don't you see this need for instant recognition, for feeling significant, and for doing something so wrong? It gives them sort of a high. And a ton of people love to feel high. They do. They're addicted to the rush, to that feeling that they have outsmarted the system. Why spend years working on something when you can get the same dopamine hit by breaking a few rules? We have glamorized rebellion to the point where it's seen as more rewarding than working within the system. And that's not good. The problem is when rules become optional, chaos follows. It always does. If everyone decides to do what they want, when they want, without any regard for the rules, don't we lose the very foundation of what holds our society together? It's not just the big rules either, the big laws that we need to worry about. It's these small ones too. When we allow people to bend the rules of common courtesy or twist the truth, it may seem insignificant at first. It might. But those small little actions have a ripple effect. They erode the trust and respect that's essential for a community to function very well. Think about the 10 Commandments again. What if we all just decided, you know what? They're like the 10 things that you might want to think about. Like don't steal unless you're really tempted. Don't lie unless you need to, unless it's convenient. Don't kill unless you're really, really pissed off at somebody. The absurdity of all this is, I think it's obvious, but isn't that what we're doing with so many of the rules that once kept our society on track? I mean, seriously, we have reached a point where rules aren't respected because they're not enforced. And because they're not enforced, people, they stop believing that the rules even matter. The lines between right and wrong, good and bad, the lines between good and bad have been blurred so much. Unless we restore some form of accountability, we're going to see more and more of our culture crumble, no matter who our president is. At least that's the way I see it. I need to wrap this up today, but it's easy to point fingers and say, well, that's just how things are nowadays. But the truth is, we all have a role to play in this. We do. Every time we let a rule slide, every time we ignore bad behavior, we are contributing to the erosion. And at some point, don't we need to ask ourselves, are we actually willing to do the hard work of holding ourselves and others accountable? Or are we just going to continue watching the rules dissolve into nothing more than polite suggestions? What do you think? Can we turn the tide? Or have we let things slip too far already? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for joining me around this virtual campfire, where we don't all need to agree, but we all do need to be civil and respectful, especially if we disagree. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.